Welcome to Test Academia family. In this video lesson, we would take an overview on Ielts and discuss how our pre-recorded lessons could help us achieve your desired scores and fulfill your dreams. Let's take a quick look at the Ielts modules. We have four modules: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Listening, reading, writing, they happen usually back to back on the day you have your main exam. There is no break in between the three modules. Speaking is a face-to-face interaction between the candidate and the examiner, and the speaking slot is usually allocated to you a week before the exam. Your speaking test could happen within a week before or after the main test date. Now let us understand what is Ielts exam structure. We have two kinds of Ielts. One is academic training, which is for students who want to study abroad, and the other is general training, which is for people who aspire to migrate and work abroad. The first module of the main exam is listening module, which is same for academic and general both. It goes for about 30 minutes and 10 minutes are given extra to transfer your answers in the OMR sheet, especially when you're talking about the paper-based test. In case of computerized delivered test, you would enter the answers as you listen and they would get stored. There are 4 sections and 40 questions. The next module is reading module, which is different for academic training and general training. It is for about 1 hour and there about 3 sections and 40 questions. However, there can be more than 3 passages too. There could be 3 or 4 or 5 passages. The difference between academic and general training reading is the kind of topics that your passages would be based on. For academic reading, usually you have passages which are on academic or technical topics, whereas for general training reading, you have long passages based on social topics. The third module is the writing module, and it has 2 tasks and it's for about 1 hour 60 minutes. The first task for academic writing is summarize text, where you could get a bar graph, line graph, or a pie chart, and you have to write from the information given to you. The second task is essay writing. For general training writing, the first task is a letter, and you have to write minimum 150 words for the first task and the minimum 250 words for the second task, which is essay writing. Speaking, as I just discussed, happens on maybe any other day. It's a face-to-face interaction between the examiner and the candidate. It goes for about 11 to 14 minutes and has 3 parts. The total test time is about 2 hours 54 minutes, which also includes the 10 minutes listening transfer time. Now let's understand the question types of listening. The different question types of listening are sentence completion, summary, table or flowcharts, mapping, short answer, matching or classification, multiple choice. Now let's try to understand the different sections of listening. It has 4 sections, and the first 2 sections are based on social topics and the last 2 sections are based on academic topics, and that's how they test on your listening skills for academic training and general training both. The first section is a conversation between 2 speakers, whereas the second section is a monologue. The third section is a conversation between 2 to 4 speakers, and the fourth section is a monologue. After finishing the tape, you'll be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet for the paper-based test. Now let's understand the challenges that you would face in listening and how our pre-recorded lessons could help you beat those challenges. The first most important challenge that you would face is pronunciation. So therefore, our pre-recorded sessions would help you, give you a brief overview on phonetics and its application while dealing with multiple speakers in audios on varied topics. The second challenge that you would face is the native speaker's accent. Sometimes you are unfamiliar with the diction or the accent of the speaker, and that helps you, hinders your understanding on the topic. So our pre-recorded sessions would definitely help you, give you tips to improve the listening skills using multiple strategies. This would also be accompanied with some listening exercises based on various accents that would not only help you understand different kind of speakers, their speaking styles, but also help cope up with the changing dictions and varied topics of the audios. The next challenge that you would face is the content. So therefore, we would help you how we can avoid spelling errors, and also we would discuss various activities on note taking that would understand how to filter out the important information and leave the rest, as every word in the conversation or the audio cannot be important. We would help you utilize the limited time that is available with you and target high scores. You would also face a challenge where you would get tricky questions where the questions would be very different from what you hear. Probably the examiner would rephrase the words, or he would use different ways to confuse you so that you're not able to understand the questions immediately, or maybe you end up marking some options which look very similar to the right ones. So, our pre recorded lessons would definitely give you lots of tips to handle the tricky questions, and we would explain this to you with the help of lots of examples and practice exercises so that the concepts become crystal clear to you. Now let's take a quick look at the reading. The various question types that are covered in the reading module are short answer, multiple choice, sentence completion, headings, matching, classification, true, false, not given, yes, no, not given, or locating information. Let's try to understand how our pre-recorded lessons would help you beat the challenges that you would face in reading. The most important challenge is time management. When you do not, adhere to the timelines and you're not able to give appropriate time to each passage and not able to answer the questions. So we would help you understand the techniques to adhere to strict timelines, and this would be accompanied with reading drills which would help you practice and improve your time management skills. The next challenge that you would face is with respect to grammar, which is very, very important in reading and which helps the examiner to set the traps so that you get confused and get settled with the options that look correct and they're actually not. So we would give you in-depth basic grammar sessions, and we would also give you sentence structure lessons. All the elements of good and bad English are discussed in detail with examples and practice exercises so that you can identify the challenges and the traps intended by examiner in advance, and you can avoid them towards achieving your desired score. So another challenge that you would face in reading is vocabulary. You have to understand how to identify the traps set by the examiner, helping to enhance your accuracy rate. Now there are multiple traps which are with respect to the vocabulary which is used. Often different words are used by the examiner, but they mean the same, and when we're looking for the exact words, we might end up choosing a wrong option and get completely confused. So our pre-recorded lessons would help you improve your vocabulary and understand how we can work on variety of vocabulary and also different traps which are set by examiner to confuse the candidate. We also give you a list of academic vocabulary and hard topics so that you can prepare that in advance and you are not unfamiliar with them while you are answering your passages in the main exam. The next important module is writing, where the three question types are covered: summarize text, which is graphs, pie charts, which is for academic training, and letter, which is for general training, and essay writing, which is common to both academic and general, but it has a different topic for both exams. So let's try to understand the challenges that you would face. Writing evaluation involves judgment of the examiner, and that is why this is one area where students are completely confused, that in spite of having amazing writing skills, why they are not able to achieve the desired score. So you would face a lot of problems with respect to content, and our pre-recorded lessons would help you brainstorm the points on each essay type. We would provide simplistic solutions provided for complex topics. Then there are many topics which are repeated or they are rephrased. We would discuss all those topics so that if you get similar wordings or similar kind of topics in the exam, you're able to crack it within no time. Then revision on the go. Last 5 year writing topics would be shared through this mobile app, you, you, in the form of PDFs, which could be consulted and practiced and submitted for evaluation, which is included in our pre-recorded sessions package. The second challenge that you would face is with respect to grammar. For that, we have in-depth basic grammar sessions with sentence structure lessons and different ways to create variety of a variety of vocabulary and take care of the parameter lexical resource are being discussed in these lessons. Elements of good and bad English are also discussed in detail. Next challenge that we would face is vocabulary, as I've already discussed. So pre-compiled set of words easy to use for any essay topic will also be discussed. And different ways to get a high score in lexical resource would also be discussed with the help of examples and practice exercises, focusing on the appropriate application in your essay writing. Structure is another area where you could find it difficult and you would lose your points. So our lessons would focus deeply on various parameters of evaluation, and the commonly made errors are discussed in detail with emphasis on strategies on high scoring. All the lessons are structured in such a way that they're focusing on how to get a high score. So they're all result driven. Now let's take a quick look at speaking. As I've already discussed, it's a face-to-face interaction. It happens on mostly on another day within a week before or after the exam. There are three parts: introduction, cue card, and discussion. It's an 11 to 14 minutes interaction between the candidate and the examiner. So the challenges that you would face in speaking is number one, oral fluency. Now speaking is one module where a lot of people think they don't need practice, and because they can speak well, obviously yes, because English is your medium of communication in your office and back home for many of us. But then, in spite of your good speaking skills, there are a lot of people who are still not able to get their desired score. Let's understand these challenges and the reasons for that. The first is oral fluency. So a lot of people are not fluent either because they don't speak a lot in English or because they don't have content. So our pre-recorded lessons would help to provide you, repeated questions so that you can practice on them and you can have your content in handy with you. Then we would also give you a list of good vocabulary and templates that would definitely help you to, buy out time so that you don't have long pauses. We'll also provide you tips to reduce pauses and improve fluency. Then the revision on the go, where you would be provided last 5 years speaking topics through this mobile app, where you could just go through the PDF and just practice those questions. The next challenge is content. So even if you know you speak English very well, but if you don't know the answer to the question, you don't have the content, there would definitely be a long pause because you're thinking. So we would, provide you lots of common topics and lots of words which are important with respect to the topic so that you can prepare your content in advance. We would help you with strategies which can help you to frame the right structure, especially for cue card, and whatever you say is coherent and well connected. So all these tips and strategies would be taken care of in the pre-recorded lessons. The next important challenge is pronunciation and body language. So this takes care of the rising and falling intonation, that how the modulation of speaking should be taken care of. The right body gestures and eye contact is also important for a good score. So all these parameters are being taken care of in our videos on speaking. Time management is another parameter, especially for Q card, where you just have about a minute to prepare on the topic. So we would give you a list of topics where you can prepare in advance, and we would also give you tips on structuring the content with limited information that you have about the topic. So let's try to understand how our pre-recorded sessions are unique and would be definitely useful to you to achieve your desired score. We have a structured curriculum where all the basic fundamentals are covered, adapting to the varied difficulty levels, irrespective of the caliber of the student. We would start with the basic lesson and gradually we would progress towards the different difficulty levels suiting the capabilities of the students. We would give different strategies and consistent evaluations would be given to you for writing and speaking as a part of our pre-recorded sessions. We have unique content, and we would help you understand the structure and how to take care of your coherence in your writing and speakings. All our strategies are result driven, focusing on the evaluation patterns and high scores, and they're as effective as live sessions or classroom trainings. We also familiarize you with the different traps that examiner could set for you, and that is something that reduces your band as it confuses the candidates. So we would help you identify the challenges and avoiding the traps towards a high band. Then time management is very important. We would teach you how to adhere to timelines, and you would learn to strategize the exam, which is very, very important. Any competitive exam is not only about knowing the concepts well, but also about taking care of your timelines and how you strategize the exam. So that is something that we would focus on in our pre-recorded sessions, and I hope you know I'm I'm able to give you enough input on how our pre-recorded sessions could help you scale up your scores. Do not forget to log into testacademia.com, go through our multiple packages on IELTS, where you could get about 100 plus pre-recorded lessons and scored full-length tests with in-depth evaluations and online tutor support till the time you achieve your desired scores. And I assure that we have helped millions of students achieve their dream scores and fulfill all their dreams of going abroad. And these video sessions would keep up to all the promises that we have made in this particular video, focusing on the content that we provide in our lessons. So all the best for your preparation. We'll be happy to become a part of your journey while you're preparing for your exam, and we would help you fulfill your dream come true. Thank you so much for your time to go through the video. Thank you.